What does Luke Skywalker and Donald Trump have to do with you making money in this video? Stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of Financial Freedom Builders, where every conversation moves you one decision closer to financial freedom. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the page. Top comment below, Freedom Builders Academy. Had you been in there, you would have had already access to our financial community, and you would have already gotten the information that we're going to provide in this video and would be up north of 30 to maybe 40% on some of your gains. But let's get right into it because we got a lot to talk about here. So the first thing I want to go into before we go into what I'm talking about with Luke Skywalker and Donald Trump is I want to talk about the market. In my last video, I'll leave that's right here, we talked about that the market was getting ready to melt up higher. At the time, it was about $737, which was the SPY, ticker symbol SPY. And at the time, we said is that it was going to revisit $750. And then at that point, we would have to see what it would do at that inflection point to see if we're going to go back lower, under 725 to revisit the proverbial $700 figure, or would we break through and continue upwards, which would get us towards $800 in the SPY. And we said is that the momentum indicators at the time showed bullish. And at the time of this recording, the SPY is currently $753. So it has broken through and seems to be ready to keep climbing higher. In the midst of this, we are getting news regarding the inflation report showing that it is rising higher, which is definitely a concern, but the market is still rising despite that. In addition, we are still in the middle of this war with Iran with no official resolution, and the market is still climbing higher. So as you can see, this market right now doesn't have too many things that would send it further down. We are looking to potentially be heading towards $800 on the SPY. Of course, this video is not financial advice. It's just for education and entertainment purposes only. However, if you've been following along in the journey in these videos, you can attest that a lot of money has been made through the information and guidance we're providing in these videos. But let's talk about what happened today in the market. Donald Trump and the Presidential Association announced that the government is now looking to invest into drone-related companies in the United States. That sent a ton of companies starting to climb higher. However, yesterday in our financial community, Financial Freedom Builders, we alerted everyone that in the charts, there was a company that was on our radar due to bullish indicators, and it was Ondas Holdings. Ticker symbol ONDS. Yesterday, we told everyone that we are now bullish in this company. And the subsequent day, we get the alert that now the government is looking to invest into AI companies. What do you think happened with that stock? As of the time of this recording, that stock is currently up 25%. And I'm here to tell you today that although you missed the first wave yesterday, there is still more room to run. Currently right now, Ondas Holdings is currently about $13 a share. From here, there is a clear path to $22. That is a massive bag that could be made from here, even though it's already ran up nearly 30%. So this is one to keep on your radar. Why are drones interesting? Because drones can replace putting soldiers on the ground to fight in these wars. The Iranian army is using drones in a lot of different places in the war, which is giving them a strategic advantage over the United States, at least in that particular part of the battle. Of course, the United States has the most powerful military, but clearly they have learned some lessons through this war that drones is something that needs to be worth investing into. But there are a lot of companies that could potentially partake of this. We're bullish on Ondas Holdings, but there are about 4 or 5 other companies that could get the government bid for that contract. So we're almost drawing straws out of a hat and grabbing tickets to say, okay, is the company we invested into going to be the winning one? Because if they win, their stock will explode. But if you are on the wrong side of that story, your company will sink really hard because there is nothing for the investors to be investing into if they're not getting the government bid. And so one of the ways in regards to strategic, smart, wealth building investing strategies is we don't have to pick the right company and use that. But smart investing says We just know that the drone industry is clearly very bullish. And so instead of collecting one stock, you can invest in the basket of drone-related stocks, which is known under than an ETF, which is an exchange-traded fund. Now, for sticking around in this video long enough, I'm going to leave you with 2 drone that you can consider investing into that, regardless of who gets the presidential bid, this particular ETF will climb higher because the industry itself has now a lot of attention. The first one is DRNZ, which is short for drones. It's a drones ETF. That one has continued to show a lot of strength. It is one of the most popular drone ETFs that are out there, so there's a lot of attention to it. So if you get in now, as some of these other companies run up, the ETF will follow alongside with it. But that's not the only ETF. There is now an emerging drone ETF that is starting to get a lot of attention because DRNZ has already taken off. This other one hasn't launched off of the pad yet. And the ticker symbol for that one is JEDI, J-E-D-I. Kind of like in Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, the Jedi. So if you invest into either of these 2 ETFs, it gets you immediate exposure into the drone industry. And then within there, whichever company or companies get the governmental contract bid for a governmental contract for their drone company and their products, within that, the ETF will follow along and climb higher. So this is a great one to add to your long-term portfolio. Start buying shares and accumulating until the official news launches. If you're interested in swing trading, this is a great time to get in, ride the wave up, and then sell out once we know which is the company that gets in. And at that point, the wave up is done, but the industry will continue to climb because there are going to be millions and billions of dollars being flooded into that industry. If you like information like this, and how do we think strategically to make wealth building strategies sustainable long-term to change our families, that's where you can learn these things in Freedom Builders Academy. Again, it's the top comment below. On your way out, hit the like button, share this video with somebody you know that's wanting to learn how to invest, somebody that's trying to build wealth, trying to get out of the 9-to-5 rat race. There are a lot of people out there struggling and can benefit from this information, so don't hold it only to yourself. Find somebody else to influence, just like we're using this video to influence you, and we'll talk to you on the next one.